Hello everyone, how are you all today? Good? Good. So today's video is our February 2021 Paycheck Budget Check-in. I think the theme of this check-in is going to be called Wins and Fails, and you'll know why by the end of this video. But first, if you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Kate, and we are a rural living, frugal family of 5 who live off one income to work our way out of debt. We are paid monthly on or around the 15th of every month. I say around because sometimes the 15th falls on a weekend and we are paid the Friday prior. In February, the 15th fell on a Monday, but because it was a bank holiday in the US, we were paid on the Friday prior, February 12th. So the last half of February has been very hectic here, between appointments, act deck, dance classes, snow days, delayed school starts, you name it. I haven't had time to film an update beyond this one, so I apologize for some footage that's from the first week of our pay month while I'm talking about the last 2.5 weeks of our pay month. So straight out of the gate at the beginning of the pay month, we had an unexpected expense come up. My windshield wipers broke. Well, more specifically, the driver wiper broke. Hubs was trying to clean off ice and snow from the car, and the piece that hooks the wiper blade to the arm had snapped. So we had to stick a sock over the arm. This way the metal piece wasn't against my glass windshield while driving in single-digit weather. We did finally get some replacement blades, and that's all good. But this wasn't the only expense our car gave us this month. On another stormy day, my car ran out of washer fluid. These were both very easy purchases, but it was $30 that I wasn't expecting from this pay month. Now, I do want to say that because we budget monthly, it is very hard to predict every single expense over the next 28 to 31 days. We do our best, but life happens, and I'm not going to stress about life getting in the way. I have anxiety, I stress enough as it is, I don't need to stress more. For this reason, I always budget our income on the low end and our bills on the high end. This does give wiggle room within our budget. So another thing that came up this month was eating out a lot. Like our miscellaneous category, which for the time being includes eating out, is taking a large hit because of this. Now, I don't want to give the impression that we've done a ton of takeout simply because we don't want to cook. Sometimes, yes, it was part of our monthly meal plan. Other times, it was because it was the best option at the time. For example, planned takeout was Papa John's over one of the weekends. Best option at the time was a trip to Wendy's because a snow squall changed plans for the entire day. This particular day, February 22nd, my oldest had 2 planned appointments, one therapy appointment and an oral surgery consultation. And Hubs needed to pick up his company truck from the shop after some repairs had been made. The plan initially was to go to the first appointment, drive back home to meet up with Hubs, eat, drive him to pick up his truck, and head to the second appointment. Then meet Hubs at his office and drop off my oldest so that they could go home, pick up my daughter right after school, and head to her dance classes for the evening. That was not how the day went at all. Right as we left for A's first appointment, it started snowing. They expected 1 to 3 inches over the course of the day, which is really nothing major here in the Northeast, and I have 4-wheel drive. I know how to drive in snow. But the snow picked up and fast, that we got about 5 inches in a very, very short period of time. This 30-minute trip to town for the first appointment took an hour, making us late for the first appointment. Rather than meeting up with Hubs, we just stayed downtown and ate Wendy's. Was it the best option? No. But it was the closest option to where we had to be and the safest option based on the conditions of the roads at the time. So for our spending categories so far, for food we've budgeted $750 and we've spent $550. Household we've budgeted $160 and have spent $165. Pet we have budgeted $160 and have spent $78. Miscellaneous we budgeted $150 and have spent $256. Clothing we budgeted at $100 and have only spent $16. And finally fuel we budgeted at $200 and have spent $74. As for bills, I did pay off my city card with this check. Between the time I checked the balance for my February budget with me and the time payday came, they had added interest for the month. So it wasn't the $544 that I had estimated. It ended up being $584, but it's done, it's paid off, and it was worth the extra amount. It is currently March 3rd, and we still haven't received our house statement in the mail. And I was getting really nervous at the end of February and had Hubs stop at the bank and pay it. So it is paid on time. The mail here is currently very, very slow. This statement and the car payment from last month aside, I know that the mail is slow because I've had documents from the school mailed to us for me to sign and mail back, and I've had follow-up calls as to why I haven't sent them back. I did. Things are just so slow here currently. Now, the local bank that we have our mortgage through told us that we could set up online payments. However, it's not through their website. It has to be through our bank. And that is on my list of things to do when I'm feeling feisty and want to fight sloth speed internet. This is probably going to be around March's payday. It'll give me about 2 weeks to get in there with our bank and set it up. In line with that, I know that there are medical expenses for B's blood work coming up. I've talked about that in our budget with me. But I still haven't received a statement in the mail about that. I know the claim was processed. I can see it on our insurance website. I did receive a medical bill for O's reevals at his doctor's, but not for B's blood work. All of this happened through the same doctor, through the same medical system, so I can't see why that would be a difference to why I got one bill and not the other. Dental, I had mentioned that Hubs had a filling coming up and I wasn't sure how much it would be. Well, his filling was actually last week, and while I'm still waiting on our insurance reimbursement check, it's looking like we're going to owe around $45 out of pocket for the filling. And this is coming from the $75 we had left over from last month. And while we're on the dental topic, A's wisdom teeth. I said he had an oral surgery consult. Yeah, his teeth need to come out. He only has 2, which are good. There's no follicles for the other 2, and they're both impacted. The estimate is about $1,700 without any insurance coverage. I know our insurance will cover it. I've been on their websites, but they're less than helpful. The absolute worst case scenario is I'm paying the entire cost out of pocket, but this is not likely. Worst case scenario is that we owe $670. This is a combination of his individual deductible and a 10% coinsurance. Now, I also don't think it will be this high for a few reasons. One, since it is a coinsurance, it's based on what the insurance company calls an allowable amount. I didn't get that nitty-gritty to know what their allowable amount is on an oral surgery, but it's usually less than what was billed by a lot. 2, our dental insurance may kick in for some of the cost, but I don't know that that'll be the case since these are impacted teeth. And 3, his individual deductible is assuming that he has no appointments and no prescriptions filled out at all this year so far, and he kind of already has. So I don't think we'll have the full deductible amount on this. But $670 is a ballpark out of pocket I'll be keeping in mind. Now, this particular oral surgeon is currently out of the office on medical leave. I think our dentist said he did something while skiing. It was a skiing accident. I don't know. I do know that they're not going to start scheduling surgeries until about April or May. And because there are some complexities on my son's sinus cavity and where his teeth are, there's a very thin line there. And so for a couple weeks after his surgery, they don't want him doing anything that would basically put a hole in between the two places, because then he would need another surgery to fix it. So this means no band. We were going to wait until after the school year to do the surgery anyways. He really does enjoy band, but this just solidified it. We also need to leave a gap between when this surgery is done and when band camp starts in August for it to heal. So it's looking like it's going to be sometime in June. I have plenty of time to save up $670 or thereabouts between now and June. The office also did say as we get closer to scheduling the surgery, they will give me an actual insurance estimate. So this $670 is my ballpark. We'll see if it's in line with what the office says. And I also don't know how many of you know this, but we had started our hardcore budgeting journey when A was looking at phase 1 ortho work. And I'll be honest with you, I remember this like it was yesterday, even though it was already 9 years ago. I had just left teaching part-time to stay home with 2 young kids because part-time pay was not paying a part-time daycare bill. We had, and still have, student loan bills and other debts. I had just come home from a stock-up shopping trip, fed up with rising food costs that the insane amount, $150 at that time, didn't really get me much. And I was also looking at a $1,200 out-of-pocket ortho bill for my oldest. I felt really trapped. Over the years, I've since learned, as with anything in life, that there are wins and there are fails. And you really need to celebrate the wins and learn from the failures. Don't dwell on them. In order to do that and not drag yourself down, you need to ask yourself, are these failures within my control? If they were in my control, then I need to change the habit and do better. For example, some of our eating out this month could have been avoided. So change the habit and do better. If I can avoid it, don't do takeout. Just go home to eat. If they were not in my control, then I cannot stress over it, just simply readjust. So don't stress about the total cost of something, just readjust the budget and move on. They don't call budgeting and the process of becoming debt-free a journey for nothing. You are going from one part of your life through to another. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click that like button. And if you want to see more budget with me's and plan with me's, click that subscribe button too. This week is really hectic here. A has his state act deck tournament this weekend, as well as this being the weekend that the school drama production takes place. So it's been dress rehearsals after school until 7 p.m. all week. I did film my March plan with me, but I'm not going to have time to edit it this week. I hope you all are well and staying healthy. And until next time, bye.